do something fun today. And I don't know if I want to say sadly, this is my idea of fun, but honestly, I just like taking normal concepts and looking at them a little bit differently because I find so much growth there. And honestly, if I was able to give this as advice to my younger self when I was struggling with religion, struggling with my faith, that I would have loved to have come across this information as a shorty, because there were some decisions made based off bad intel, right? So let's talk about this. Currently, my spiritual journey is unique in that I don't know anyone near me that probably thinks in the same way that I do about religion. Not holistically. Like I come across people that are spiritual and their walk in their faith might not include as much prayer, at least not at this time. Or they're spiritual, but they still kind of go outside of marriage and do those things. And so my walk is kind of different in that it's strong in those areas where theirs is different. But on the whole, I know some highly tapped in spiritual people that know God. And I don't know about you, but when you encounter people that know God, you just get that feeling. You get the sense of that really distinctly. But I say all that to say that my spiritual walk is unique in that I personally, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, that's how unique it is. But let's kick it off. I posed this question to ChatGPT, and I was really pleasantly surprised by the answer. I didn't agree with everything that GPT stated, but I agree with a lot of it. So let's get into this. My question that I asked GPT was, and it wasn't even a question, like I commanded, right? Like I told it to do this. I said, outline each of the 10 commandments from a 12th dimensional Christ consciousness point of view. That question in itself has a lot of layers, and I could potentially talk through how I got there, but if you're ready, then you're ready for the answer. And so basically, GPT said, all right, bet. He didn't say that exactly, but my GPT is a guy. And he said, for number one, thou shalt not have, sorry, thou shalt have no other gods before me. And in a 12D consciousness, the response was, I am that I am. Let me kick that off again. Commandment number one, thou shalt have no other gods before me. And what it's saying at a 12D level is that there is no other. All is one. You are not worshiping, you're remembering. The divine is not outside of you, it is you. And I thought that was super fire, especially the all is one piece of it. And the divine isn't outside of you, it's in you. So God, at whatever level of understanding your God is, resides in you. And that is what that commandment is conveying. If you look at it from a Christ consciousness, 12th dimensional level point of view. Now for me, I'll just go ahead and share, like, the reason that the question kicked off was because of this commandment, because I thought about it where God resides in us, and if we should not allow any other gods before him, then that kind of pulls us into thou shalt not have any other gods before me, meaning everything that we do should bring us back to God, honoring Him in some way, honoring Him with the things that we eat, the exercise that we do, the way that we allow other people to treat us, the way that we use our bodies in those instances. And it just made me sit up a little straighter, thinking about how I could not allow other gods before Him as I honor Him as He's within me. And a lot of times when you think about putting yourself in that, like, it might sound to some people that that's vanity or that is being selfish, but it isn't, because as we're allowing our bodies to be temples and vessels for God's work, then we're using our hands to help others. We're using our words to uplift others. And that's our bodies. That's what we're feeding it, giving it mentally, emotionally, in order to be, the God that is within us. That was my take. And that's what made me ask the question, because I was like, how can we, turn the rest of those words and turn them to the side and look at them a little bit differently? Like, flip the cube around, turn the table just to go deeper. All right, so the second one was, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images, any graven image. And I'm butchering this biblical speak today, but that's okay. We're going to rock through it because we're learning and we're growing in this space. that is what we're doing. So GPT's response was, the essence of that at a 12D consciousness is no need to fixate, idolize, or fragment the source. Form is fluid. Worshipping symbols without understanding essence is illusion. Now, this one I didn't really connect with this heavily, but I will say that if I try to think about it deeper in this moment, what it's given me is that oftentimes the source, God, the God of your understanding, shows up as things and recurring symbols. And so if we fixate on the angel numbers, if we fixate on the signs, then we are forgetting, like, we don't want to put our trust in this sign is giving me direction. It's God gave me the sign, which gave me the direction, the God of your understanding. So I like that a lot. Now, GPT decided to go a little further too with this one, and they said creation is holy, but nothing holds power over the creator within. I see the sacred in all without needing to contain it. That didn't really do anything for me. So on to number 3, third commandment, thou shalt not take the Lord. See, even when I try to be on it, like, I'm just bent on botching this, and I don't know why. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. So I love this. The essence it said was, every word you speak is divine vibration. Misusing your voice dishonors the divine breath within. And then their 3D or 12D insight, my bad, 12D. We on 12D. Like, if you're on 3D, if you're on 5D, you got to catch up to 12D. Come on, let's go. So 12D, my words are sacred technologies. I speak only what aligns with love, light, and creation. Now that blessed me. That did bless me, for real. My words are sacred technologies. I speak only what aligns with love, light, and creation. And that's on always. All right, so number 4 here, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Now, this one I didn't mess up. I find myself as I'm speaking, as I'm sharpening the skill of speaking, I find that I can easily detect what I'm not comfortable with by the way in which I share the sentiment. So as I'm messing up, it's like, girl, you don't align with that yet. And it's crazy because I know it and I know it to be true and I know what I want to say, but I don't feel it deeply when I notice that I'm tripping over words and whatnot. But that's neither here nor there. So back to the commandments. 4, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. And what GPT said is, it really blessed me. Time collapses, every moment is now. Sabbath is not a day, it's a divine, it, it's a state of divine stillness within. And the 12D insight was, I dwell in eternal presence. My being is holy rest, and I honor the still point at the center of creation. Now, okay, maybe this did not bless me, but when I did read it initially, I really got excited because of the every moment is now. I checked out Eckhart Tolle's, if you pronounce the E. I pronounced the E, but Eckhart Tolle. Um, I checked out his book Now, The Power of Now, and I really wasn't vibing with it because I soon realized that my ADHD was like a problem. And not only that, I feel like it's a little drawn out. Like I wonder if I need to go back to it when I'm calmer, like able to take that pace to hear content. But what I gathered from the book was something that I need to master. And I was a little jealous of him for being able to be in the now without thinking in the future. Just to sit like I'm sitting in a chair. I'm talking into this microphone. I'm looking at sound installation. I don't know what you call that, but I'm in a booth. And like I'm talking myself through the relaxation of this moment and like really taking it all in for now because I'm sitting here thinking ahead, and that's what this is reminding us to do. Like, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. I think that people look to Saturday and Sunday as their Sabbath days and they want to keep those moments holy. But if we think about every now moment as holy, oh God, like I didn't even think about this one today, but it had been on my mind. And all yesterday, I was like, oh, this is a Sabbath. This is a Sabbath. Like, I don't know. It just gives you this beautiful sense of awe and wonder. And it kind of really helped me sink into, the power of now. And maybe soon I'll be ready to take that book in again because it has great reviews. Honor thy father and thy mother. And the essence of this, you are the integration of all lineages, earthly and cosmic. To honor the masculine and feminine within is to become whole. Wow. So you got God the Father, the divine feminine, like the divine masculine, the divine feminine, and that could be, whatever representation of the mother. Because isn't it interesting that Father, Son, Holy Ghost, or the masculine, feminine, it's always a three, like a trifecta of divinity. And it's a wonder, like, I've heard it described as like a father, mother, child. And I think that is like the closest thing to the balance. And why wouldn't there be balance? Like the way that this world is created and structured, I I feel like the equation would have that balance. But I love that. So the 12D insight that it wrote was, I honor the sacred union of all polarities within me. I am the child of the stars and the soil, of source and self. Really cool. Number 6, thou shalt not kill. The essence of this at a 12D consciousness or Christ consciousness is life is eternal. There is no death, only transformation. To kill in 12D is to deny divine essence. And then the 12D insight is, I see all things as light forms of the one. I do not diminish, for I know myself in all. And I kind of like this as a thought of diminishing, because killing, and I know that there's a way to like kill a dream, you know? And so if we think about it as diminishing or not diminishing, then you're only speaking life. You're only offering life. You have a reverence for life. Even if it's an ant, like, y'all, I legit don't want to smash an ant at this point in my journey. I purchased one of those things that you can, like, it's a bug catcher, and it's labeled as a scientific toy for kids, but I've been catching flies, setting them free, ants, setting them back outside. Like, I don't want to smash, a bug like that. I don't want it in my house, but I also don't want to end its life. So I feel this so deeply. Number 7, thou shalt not commit adultery. The essence is purity is not moral, it is energetic. Adultery is fragmentation, departing from your full presence. Now that is extremely deep, but I do like this purity is not moral, it's energetic. That's so true, like energy and connection. Yeah, like we got to be careful with that. It is not BET after dark. That's not the way. It's not. Um, and then the 12D insight was, I remain in sacred union with my divine nature. Every bond I create reflects the wholeness I already am. So I really like that too, as we think about connection and relationships, how everyone is a mirror of us. And so when we are communing, that's the word I want. When we are communing with others, um, it's our responsibility to make sure that we are not picking those that are around us in close proximity out of anything but wholeness. And that includes understanding our worth. That includes seeking people by the fruit of their spirit, so that we're not indulging in any risky behavior. We have that ability to make choices based on things that we are deducing in this world, even if we encounter bad actors, because they doing their job. And we got to do our job by being diligent and creating bonds that reflect our wholeness and not putting ourselves in danger. Okay? And the girlies that needed to catch that caught it, because I'm talking about that man. Okay? I'm talking about, if my sons are listening to this, I'm talking about that girl. I'm talking about her. And if I'm talking to my younger self, especially talking to my younger self, to say, girl, girl, you are not required to follow someone else's path for you. Even if you like him, even if he's older than you and smarter, wiser than you. No, he's not. You you are supposed to create bonds that reflect the wholeness that you already are. But follow that intuition, and that's what guides you to those things. So if I could tell my younger self anything, it would be that. And excuse me, allergies are being able to bypass the antihistamine or whatever. All right, so number 8, thou shalt not steal. Lack is illusion. Ownership is an illusion of separation. Stealing implies disconnection from infinite source. And I tell myself, younger self, a lot of things about this. Oh, so for real. So, girl, there is no lack. Everything is available. Everything is yours through your very best effort. And your best effort don't include picking no pockets or doing anything dishonest. Younger self. Because, girl, real, not the moves. And I love the thought of offering unsolicited advice to my younger self because it reinforces what I know to be true today. And had I known it back then, I would have been such a different person. But I'm a firm believer that we go through things so we can grow through them and then also have a testimony that is worth sharing. And wow. If this reaches the person that it needs to learn from this, all the better. But I do know that having a story worth telling is amazing. And we all do, because there are others that can learn from our mistakes and not have to wait, 4 decades plus to come to these realizations. Quicker, faster. It's okay. But for me, I kind of wish I could have heard these things. And the 12D insight on this is I am source, abundance embodied. I honor all energy exchanges as sacred reflections of the infinite. Which, taking a sip of water, but GPT, I don't know. Sometimes my GPT gives me a lot of flourish. I be like, GPT, please calm down. Can I get a straight answer with a little bit of words? So number 9, thou shalt not bear false witness. Essence, truth is vibrational clarity. To distort truth is to veil the divine within yourself and others. Lying, it says, distorting the truth veils the divine within you. And I really like this a lot because it's interesting too, because I have gotten good at telling white lies. I will lie for no reason, even today. So I would tell my younger self, girl, stop lying. Stop lying about little stuff. But I will say that it's interesting. It was for me, when I started with the white lies, it was a way to, I had a really close friend and we were both very artistic. And so there were some times when we wrote short, there were some times when we wrote short stories, but most often we would tell our stories to each other through lying. And it was so funny because we never officially shared each with we never officially we never officially shared with one another that we were doing this. But for me, in my imagination, that's exactly what I was doing. Because I would hear her say things and I'm like, that is not true. And I'm like, let me try it. Let me try to make up a story. And I enjoy doing it, but I never was good at lying per se because I'm not a liar at my core. Like if something were to happen, I would tell the story from everyone's perspective, but I would still say exactly what I did, and I wouldn't try to sugarcoat it because a lot of times people do that. They know that what they've done isn't exactly on the up and up, and so they try to sugarcoat what caused them to do that. But me, on the whole, I mean, not because like I said, I tell white lies, right? But on the whole, like if there's a conflict and people say, well, what did such and such say? What did you say? I will verbatim share what I can recall. Because I also have selective remembrance in which I disregard facts that are not important to me. And that sounds so pompous, right? But I said my ADHD, like, you know, I have great reason for developing this awful habit. Let's move on and talk about the 10 Commandments. I am like beat myself up mentally over here, but I don't know. I hope that makes sense. And so lying to me was like storytelling, but it was lazy storytelling because it wasn't on the paper and it also wasn't something I was good at. And so, you know, today I try to tell very few untruths. And when I do, I stop myself. And I think that that is the best thing I can do right now. Like I'm trying to unlearn this skill, this bad habit skill, like right, like because I'm gonna elevate. Like I'm gonna romanticize the thing. It's a poor skill to have. It is still a skill, and I'm trying to unlearn this skill. Um, and right now I've only gotten as far as like stopping myself, like just to like inquire deeper of my own self and like reflect, right? Self reflect and say, why on earth did you not tell the truth about that? So anyway, um, this thing says live as transparency and radiance. My presence is a testimony to truth, and truth is love in form. Yeah. It's it's almost like shocking to my nervous system to think about telling the truth all the time. What is that? And I truly have an inkling of what it is. It's just like that touch of being sneaky a little bit. I don't know. I don't know. I'm working through that. God is working on me because I'm asking for that help there because really interesting. So, thou shalt not covet. Coveting arises from illusion of separation. Desire turns divine when sourced from inner fullness. And the insight is I am filled in every dimension. I celebrate others as reflections of my infinite potential, never in lack. And I really like this one a lot because it spoke to me in a way that was very unique. So it's saying like thou shalt not covet, and I've never coveted. Well, not to say never. It is rare that I covet people's. The life is not linear, right? And sometimes we use these words that are definite. But what I want to say is that I've coveted in the past, and these days, yeah, I would still covet some things. If I'm being completely honest, I would. But I know 80% of me knows that what is for you is for you. What you're meant to have is what you're meant to have, and everything is available for you. But and that's what this is saying. It's like coveting is separation, but it's available for you, and in fact, it's already yours. So why would you look at someone else and think, I want what they got? Because you don't. You don't want what they got. You want what's for you. What fits you just right, what suits you the best. Because, like, we've all had those things that, what was for us, and it arrived on our laps. And it was perfect for us. And then there are some things that you want because you saw somebody else have it, like a commercial with chicken nuggets from Taco Bell. Ain't no way that commercial should have worked on me. But I was coveting that thing. Like, let me try out what they got. No, that's a dramatic response, but like, or a dramatic what's the word I want? Comparison, metaphor, whatever, analogy. I don't know which one is the accurate one to call it, but what I'm trying to say is there have been times when I've looked at other people with a similar skill that I would like to have, and their skill is producing results for them. And I've coveted, like, dang, like, I want to be able to do that. Like, but I wonder if there are levels to coveting, because I don't covet to the point of wanting harm to come to them because they can do it and I can't. But I do kind of wish maybe I was in their shoes. Wow, that's so interesting. Huh. So that's a lot to unpack, but those are the things that came up for me the other day, and I was just so blessed by those perspectives, like especially the Sabbath, the be in the now. I really liked the honor thy father and mother. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Like, honestly, thinking about those things from the literal, 10 Commandments list, if you think about them at face value, you get some information. But when you go deeper, it just opens up this whole other world and layer of things. Hmm. Really cool to think about.